In this lesson we'll create the walls for our room. So let's start off by duplicating this cube here. So we could create a new cube, but this cube is quite handy. So what we'll do is we'll duplicate this by coming up to Tools and using Duplicate. The shortcut for this is Shift D. So if we have Shift D to duplicate, we can press Shift D and then we can use the directions to choose how far we want it. So where we want it. So we can use the Z direction. And we're just going to move it up just 1 unit, so it's just on top of the other one. Okay, this is going to be the wall, so we're just going to move it on top of the other one and click. Alright, so now what we can do is scale this. So we're just going to scale this, use the S key, and we will scale it in the Y direction. So I'm going to say Y direction, and you can see it's going in 1 unit increments. So if I just come around here, we can just type in what we want here. So in the Y direction, this is how big the object is. So in the Y direction here, this Y direction, you can see it's 1.6 units, and what we want is 1 unit. So we'll just type in 1 there, and then you can see that it changes. So now that we've got the exact amount, we can actually move this over. So I'm just going to use my move tool. So just click on this button here, and we'll just move it over. And it's basically over the edge here. So we'll just change this to 7.5 here. 7.5, there we go, just so it's not hanging over the edge there. So now we can scale it up to the right height. So let's just go ahead and select the face here. So we're going to press Tab to go into edit mode, or you can come in here and press this button here and then click, and we'll just move this up. So I'm just going to have it maybe a little bit taller, something like that. Okay, and then I will press Tab to come out of that, and there we go. So if you want to see this in more of a plan view or an orthographic view, you can use your view menu here, and you can use it to see the left side, the right side, the back, front, whatever you want to. Okay, so let's just say the front, you can see it here, but you can see it's got perspective. So you basically look up here and it says perspective. If you want orthographic, you can just come in here and say orthographic, and you can change it to orthographic. And the shortcut keys for that is very simple. It's 1 for the front, 3 for the right, and 7 for the top. So if you remember those 3, you can pretty much see your model in whatever position you want to. If you want to see it in orthographic mode, you press 5. So this is perspective mode, where you've got the actual lines of perspective, and this is without perspective, which is way more useful for modeling. So you can see here, if we zoom in here, hold down Shift and use your middle mouse button to come across, you can see we've got our object lined up there and it's correct. Okay, you can press 5 to come out of that mode as well if you want to. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create an extra line here of faces, and that's going to be used to extrude out the other wall. So it's a very common command, and let's have a look at it. So we need to be in edit mode for this, so we'll press Tab, and then the command here is the loop, cut and slide, and it's good to remember the shortcut for this, which is Control R. Okay, so it's loop, cut and slide. You can always press this button if you can't remember the shortcut, and then you can hover over the object that you want, and it's going to basically give you a preview of where it's going to cut. So if we click when it's in this position and hold it down, you can actually drag it along, and you can see it's still snapping, and you can actually move it along there. And I'm just going to click where I want it. Okay, so I've got it there, and then what I can do then is use that face and extrude that face out. Okay, so I'm going to go to face mode, which is this button here. Okay, so let's extrude the face out. So we're going to select the face, and we're going to press E to extrude. We could press one of these buttons as well, but I'm just using E, which is pretty easy to remember. And you can see it comes out along the blue line, which is the normal, which is where the face is facing. So in this direction, straight out. And we're just going to line this up by eye and just click. Okay, and then while you've got this up, you can actually type in an exact number, and then it will line up perfectly. So if I just put in 0 here and 15 here, it should line up nicely with that. Okay, once that goes away, then you can't change that afterwards, but when you've applied the command, you can actually do that. And then we can deselect. We can press A to deselect, and now you can see we've got our walls. So I think it's best to save at this point, so let's press Tab to come out of this edit mode, and we're going to go to File and Save As. Then we get this interface here. This is your actual hard drive here, and I'm on a Mac here, and then this is your favorite folders. So I'm just going to put this on the desktop for now, and I'm going to call this Room, and I'll call it Room 1 just so that we can increment this afterwards. And this is a Blender file, just so you know, and then we can say save, and it's going to save that. Okay, you'll see in the title bar, if I just move this down, you can see it says Room 1 Blend, and that's basically saved now. So in this lesson we had a look at how to use the loop, cut and slide command, and we also had a look at the extrude command, and we used those to actually extrude out this wall here.